So now I'll talk about the BMM course, which you can ultimately do in your career part of it. See, you have got a general understanding of media. You have got a general understanding that how journalism, advertising, your event management, various ideas you have got how to manage PR, but that's nothing. What is important is that you can have career in TV, in OTT platforms, in journalism, in public relations, advertising, then newspapers, magazines. So many things are there. But there are certain common characteristics in each of the format. The more and more you become format neutral, or to use a jargon, you are platform agnostic, means you can seamlessly move into various formats. These are the things that you need to know. Where is your knack? So let me first start with, you must have heard content is king. Every media format needs content. Newspaper content. Newspapers need content. Radio need content. GEC channels need content. News channels need content. And you notice that the more and more you go into, then music channels need content and OTT platforms need content. So do you have creative knack for it? Advertising agencies, copywriters need content. So when you need content, if you have a skill towards that, please take training into that space. There are courses available, even in my MICA where I teach. MICA has creative communication craft. So you have the opportunity to upskill yourself in, suppose your knack is towards content, then you go into content. But after content comes how the content has to be marketed. One thing is to do marketing, but how do you content a content like Big Boss or a Arnab Goswami's show or a Alt Balaji program or a Netflix are different ball games. So your branding has to be also platform agnostic. The way you brand in broadcast medium, it's not so in narrowcast medium. The way you promote it in digital space is very different, because say, for instance, in a television, you can take a 30-second commercial, but you cannot do the same thing in a mobile, for instance, or even in YouTube. YouTube, you see 2 minutes. Also, people don't want to wait because the attention span is maximum 2 minutes. So you skip ads, you avoid ads. So the branding strategy, if you want to be immersive, if you want people to come back to your show again and again. So marketing branding itself, while the principle of marketing branding will be applicable, but specific to media also is there. So here also you need to be format neutral. You cannot say I shall promote only in the broadcast media, but not in the narrowcast media. You need to do that. Then there is distribution. Today, if content is king, distribution is the queen. Because without distribution, without disseminating your content to the right segment, you will not be able to reach the kind of stickiness which you ultimately monetize later. Because content and distribution will help you to the next part of the thing, which is monetization. Monetization, people can call sales, people can name it anything else. But the fact remains, say, for instance, again, I'm talking about my republic, where 100% monetization happens through advertising sales. In case of a Times of India, 90% would be through advertising sales. But in case of, say, for instance, Netflix, it's a subscription drive. That's what leads to monetization. So the moment you talk about monetization, one is this time and space selling. Then there is also audience development. So there is a demand side of the business, which is audience development. There is supply side of the business, which is the monetization of the available commercial time. So that leads to pricing. What kind of pricing you do? Will you do a freemium model in case of digital? Will you do a regular pricing as it happens in a cover price in newspapers or magazines? Will it be a paid channel as per new tariff order for GEC channels? So those are the things that you need to understand. Again, format neutral, because if you know only one format, your job will be more fragile, because people are looking at skills that if the marketing head is there, he's supposed to be able to understand and navigate every form of media. Today's day of analytics, you must have seen data is the new oil. You have heard it so many times. But to my mind, data is a commodity. Data has no meaning if you cannot understand, decode what is it saying something. So you get some insight, but even insight is not enough. it might lead to an action for future, which is foresight. So how to migrate from data to insight to foresight? That's what is the whole concept of analytics, because through foresight, you can do trend spotting. Again, trend spotting vis-a-vis delivery formats. What is true for newspapers? Say, for instance, I joined Times of India in 1980. We had 80% share of the spend of advertisers. Today, it is not even 20%, because things have migrated to new formats of media. So I have now done both print, television, digital, radio, because of the group I have worked where I got access to every formats of delivery. So what you sell in a radio is very different from what you sell in television. But I cannot afford to, until unless it's only a radio company and you work there. But in a multi-group company, of course, that skill is required. So I was fortunate to have that. But the critical challenge that happens is that even if you work in a radio company or a newspaper company, you have to learn to survive in an ecosystem which is complementary. No one will say, because radio is there, you work in radio station, all my money will come to you. It will get divided. So you need to understand the intricacies, the nuances of every medium, and accordingly create capabilities. Because today you are working in radio, tomorrow you might be working in, say, for instance, TikTok. So very different format. And finally, research. Research is research happens, actually I call it pre-search. Before launch of a serial, you do research. Post launch, you also do research. So research is more doing search again, and pre-search is pre-testing of a concept. So these are the 7-8 areas which runs across every formats of media, whether it is indoor, whether it is outdoor, whether it is radio, whether it is television and all that.